Morning everybody, this is Andy Loughlin from fitbodystrongmind.com. This is the second in the week's series of the 4 key elements taken from my new ebook coming out this week, The World's Simplest Guide to Getting Fit, Strong and Healthy. The element I'm going to talk about today is one that's very dear to me, which is strength training, or should I say proper strength training. Strength training is both one of the reasons why some people get in great shape and one of the reasons why many people never ever get in the kind of shape that they want to get in. Some people never ever get the lean, defined, fit body that they want. Other people manage to build strong, powerful, lean physiques with very little difficulty. In my personal view, one of the biggest differences between the two types of people is that the ones who succeed are generally the ones who focus on doing proper strength training as the basis of their exercise program. There are so many hundreds of thousands, millions of people out there who always turn first to cardio, to going running in the park or going running on the treadmill or going cycling. And the fact of the matter is, if all you do is cardio work and you never do any strength work or weightlifting, your results are going to be very average indeed. And I'm going to go into some of the reasons for that just now. So why is strength training, and we'll say proper strength training, why is proper strength training so important? Well, obviously if you want to get big and strong, the reasons for strength training are pretty obvious. You have to lift heavy weights and eat a lot in order to get big and strong. Most people understand this, most people know this. But yeah, it's amazing how few people understand that strength training is equally important if you're looking to get slimmer, if you're looking to get leaner, if you're looking to get more toned, more defined. And the reason that strength training is so important even under those conditions is that if you're in a calorie deficit, if you're trying to lose weight and therefore eating less than you're burning on a daily basis or weekly basis, strength training is the activity that sends the signal to your muscles, sends the signal to your body that you cannot afford to lose any of your muscle mass. So if you imagine that if the body's in a calorie deficit, it's going to pull the energy that it needs from anywhere it can. That's how we lose weight, because the body's in a deficit of energy, so it pulls energy from the body's tissues. Ideally, we want this to be body fat, but we have to create the conditions where the body is naturally going to use our body fat for energy rather than using some of our hard-earned muscle. Because if we are sugar burners, which a lot of us are, and we're in a deficit of energy, the body can break down protein, which is the building blocks of muscle, in order to create glucose, which can be used which can be burned as energy in a process called gluconeogenesis. So what we need to do is, if we are in a calorie deficit, we need to have a mechanism by which we tell the body that we don't want it to use any of our muscle or any of the protein or amino acids circulating around in our body for energy, because it needs those to maintain and build our muscle. Why? Because we need that muscle for the strength training. That's what we're telling our body. We're teaching our body by strength training that it needs that muscle, that it requires that muscle, and even needs to build new muscle on top of the existing muscle in order to, or rebuild the existing muscle tissue in order to be even stronger, because we're putting it through these strength training paces, and the body needs to be strong. So if you're the kind of person that when they think about getting in shape or getting fit or getting lean, if you're the kind of person that automatically turns to cardio and combine that with a low protein diet, you're setting yourself up for failure. Because the body, if it doesn't have enough protein in circulation, it doesn't have enough calories coming in, it's going to use the little protein it does have, or some of your muscle tissue, to find it for the energy that it needs to sustain your body. So therefore, if you are looking to lose weight, if you're looking to get lean, if you're looking to build the body of your dreams, strength training is so important, so that the weight that you lose is going to be body fat rather than muscle mass. And the way to ensure that is to do proper strength training, a proper strength training program, progressively improving strength training program, and a reasonably, if not very high protein diet. Those two factors combined can ensure that when you're in a calorie deficit, your body is going to be burning off as much body fat as possible and not stealing the hard-earned muscle tissue that you've been working so hard to build and that you need. You might ask yourself, well, what's so important about muscle and strength? Well, in a word, everything. We're all getting older, every one of us, and as we get older, we tend to weaken. How many people do you know or have seen that as they approach their 70s, their 80s, or even younger, 50s and 60s, that they start to emaciate, they start to lose muscle mass, they start to lose strength, they start to lose some of their physical functions, can't run around with the kids anymore, they maybe even struggle to climb a hill. And everything comes back to strength. As we age, it's so important that we maintain the strength that we have and even increase our strength and our muscle mass, because it'll help us to age gracefully and to still have all of our physical faculties as we age and still be able to do all the things when we're 60, 70, 80 and beyond that we're proud of being able to do when we're 20, 30 and 40. And strength training is the key component in that equation. So what is proper strength training? I've used the term proper strength training a couple of times. So what is proper strength training? Well, the way to look at that is probably to look first at what proper strength training isn't. And what proper strength training isn't is going into the gym, not really knowing what to do, sitting on a few machines, doing a few presses on the chest press, maybe picking up a couple of dumbbells and doing a couple of arm curls, and not really knowing what to do and then going off onto the treadmill. That's not a strength training session. Proper strength training should be, particularly for beginners and intermediate trainees. Advanced trainers I'm not really talking to, they probably know as much if not a lot more about training than I do. But for beginner trainees in particular, and for people who are on the start of the journey of getting into shape, looking to get in shape, proper strength training should be barbell training. The reason for barbell training is twofold. First of all, barbell training by its very nature trains the body as a complete unit, which is how the body is meant to be trained. Exercises such as squats, deadlifts, overhead presses, bench presses, rows, power cleans, lunges, all of these barbell exercises are full body compound exercises that train the body as a full unit rather than as isolated parts. As a result of that, they allow you to lift a whole lot more weight, and if you can lift a whole lot more weight and really challenge the whole body in your strength training session, that's going to have a much greater effect, a much greater stimulus and a much greater stress response from the body to make it hold on to or even build new muscle tissue rather than letting that tissue go when you're in a calorie deficit, as I described before. The second reason why barbell training is so important and so effective is because it's the only way that you can train exercises like the squat, the deadlift, the biggest exercises that make you the strongest. It's the only way you can train those in a way that's progressively improvable over time. Barbells are so simple yet so effective, you can always add a bit more weight. With machines you're limited, with dumbbells even to some extent you're limited by the isolated muscles which are involved in the movement. But with barbells, as long as you can keep adding weight to the bar, you can get stronger and stronger, you can get leaner, you can get more powerful. And it's not unheard of for people to lose a lot of weight and get very slim and very defined and very ripped, but still get much stronger in the process. So strength training is vital, as I've said, and I mean this is a message to people like my parents, for example, who don't seem to be convinced that strength training is just so important as they age, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who are the same. The first thing they turn to is cardio. My message is that strength training should be the first thing on your exercise menu, your first thing. And a reason why it should be the first thing is that strength takes time to build. It It takes time to build strength. It takes time to stress the body, to send the messages to the body that it needs to build new muscle tissue, and strength is built progressively over time. Most of us have a very, very high strength ceiling, and most of us are very, very low in terms of where we are against our current potential. And the only way we can get towards that strength ceiling is by starting to work toward it gradually. So strength training takes a long time to build, but it also takes a long time to lose. So if you spend a lot of time building up your strength over time, it's not the kind of thing that just disappears in 2 weeks. Like your cardio fitness, we all know that we spend 3 weeks training, going running every day, and then if you do 2 weeks of no cardio, you're back where you started. Strength training is not like that. You may if you don't train for a few weeks, you may lose some of your strength, some of your gains, of course, but you won't lose all of them. If you spend 6 months consistently building up your strength and your muscle, you will find that those strength gains, or 80-90% of those strength gains, will remain with you even if you stop training for a period of time. Of course, if you stop training forever, eventually you'll go back to the start. But strength takes a long time to build and a long time to lose, so it's very, very valuable, and it's really important that is a main priority in your training program, so that you can build the strength over time, and then it's there. You can just spend your time maintaining it, or you can keep trying to improve it. If we compare that to cardio, what's well known in training circles is that you can get to your very, very close to your optimal level of cardiovascular fitness in a very short space of time. If you know how to train correctly, you can actually get very close to your cardiovascular potential within a month, and then you can lose it again in 2 weeks if you don't train, or 3 weeks. What that means is that you can devote, when you're building your strength training strategy, or when you're building your overall fitness strategy, that means you can devote months to just building up your strength, and knowing that at any time you can spend maybe a few weeks focusing on cardio and getting your cardiovascular fitness up, because you can get close to your potential on that so quickly. With strength training though, you can't, so it makes sense to do the strength training first. Focus on getting bigger and stronger for as long as you can, and then if you want to do a run or compete in a half marathon or whatever it is you want to do, you can spend a month or a couple of months focusing more on cardio, and you'll get fit very, very quickly without losing all those precious strength gains, and you'll find that the strength that you've gained will make you a much, much better athlete, no matter what your sport. And that brings me on to another benefit of strength training, is the effect on you as a physical being, as a sportsman. If you're a sportsman, if you're someone that likes to play five-a-side football on a weekly basis, or basketball or badminton or tennis, you'll find that the stronger you get, particularly using full body movements like deadlifts, squats and presses, the stronger you get, the better you will become at your sport. You're not going to lose your sporting skill by strength training. All things being equal, if two athletes are exactly the same, so it's you versus a stronger version of you, the stronger version of you is going to win. It's just a fact. Nothing else has changed. The only difference is you're stronger. If it's tennis, your serve's going to be more powerful, your ground strokes will be more powerful, you'll be able to get to the ball quicker, you'll probably be faster. Squats build a lot of power in your hamstrings and glutes, as do deadlifts, and that's where speed comes from, that's where pace comes from. And it's not unheard of for people who have never really trained with squats and deadlifts before to actually get faster than they've ever been in their life when they're 40, 45. So strength training is just so important, and that's without even going into all the additional benefits, the effect on the strength of your heart, and in fact strength training does actually train your cardiovascular system somewhat, because it takes a lot of energy to lift a 5 repetition max squat, for example. So it does actually have an effect on your heart and your heart's capacity and your energy efficiency. The other benefits of strength training are the effect it has on bone density, and all the joints and tendons and ligaments and other tissues in your body. All of those are strengthened as well. And that's again what I mean by proper strength training. If you just go to the gym and work on a couple of machines or do a couple of arm curls, you might be working your muscles a little bit, but you're not training. You're not training your whole body. You're not strengthening all those tissues which join the muscles together, the ligaments, the tendons, and all the joints, and training and improving your bone density. As many people know, lowering bone density or reducing bone density is one of the primary reasons for broken hips, broken legs, and various other things among old people, because their bones are much more brittle. Osteoporosis sets in. And strength training is something that can reverse that entire process. It can actually reverse the process. Even people who take up strength training as they get older can actually strengthen their bones and can actually see their quality of life improve, because they're so much stronger and they can suddenly do a lot of things that they weren't able to do before. So it strengthens bones. Strength training strengthens ligaments, tendons. It improves the mobility around our joints, particularly if you train properly, and of course it makes us more muscular as well. So whatever your goal, if you're looking to get big and strong, if you're looking to be massive, if you're looking to be lean and defined, or if you just want to improve your overall physical well-being and your ability to do everyday things in life, like carry suitcases on holiday, strength training is just so important in so many areas. And in my opinion, everybody should be doing proper strength training. So everybody should be on some kind of strength training program. The last thing I want to talk about is the kind of strength training program you should do. If you're serious about building real strength combined with muscle mass, you should be looking to work on a program that works in the 5 to 8 rep range. Something like a couple of good programs are Starting Strength or Strong Lifts. These are fantastic beginner and intermediate strength training programs, and they work on a 5x5 basis, or Starting Strength is 3x5, which means if you're doing the squat, for example, you would do 3 sets of squats at 5 repetitions each set, and then once you manage to get 3 sets of 5 at the weight you're working at, the next session you would increase the weight by a couple of kilograms or a few pounds, and you just continue to do that over a long period of time. Generally speaking, most effective strength training programs, particularly for beginners, have you training 3 times a week, but you can get amazing results even training twice a week, even once a week. You can get amazing results if you train properly and you train hard enough. And that's the last component of proper strength training. You must train heavy, you must train hard. You only need to go to the gym for maybe 45 minutes to an hour at a time, but that must be time well spent. You have to train the whole body. You have to train it heavy, which means working with about 5 repetitions per set, or maybe maximum 8 repetitions per set, and really send that stimulus that tells the body that you're looking to build strength and you need to hold on to your muscle mass even if you're trying to lose weight. And of course, every strength training program should be progressive, so it should be a long-term program. You shouldn't just be looking to go and do a bit of strength training for a few weeks and then hope to have amazing results. No, you must always take a long-term, sustainable approach. Remember, anything you're trying to incorporate into your life will only work over the long term if, when you're thinking about it, when you're thinking about what you want to incorporate into your life, if it's something that you could do even in your hardest weeks. So it's very easy to get excited about something and do it for a week when all the factors of your life are falling into place. But it's much harder to keep things going when maybe you have a hard week at work, stresses with the family, maybe you're home late a few times. Then it becomes much harder to stick to your strength training regimen. So there's no point in saying to yourself, I'm going to go to the gym 5 times a week and go on 5 runs per week. There's just no point, because you won't stick to it when the going gets tough. Build a strength training program that is realistic and sustainable. 3 times a week at the gym, or 2 times a week at the gym for 45 minutes is more than doable for anybody. If it's important to you to get in shape, it's more than doable to find 45 minutes or an hour in the gym per week, twice per week. And that is all you need, 2-3 times a week, training properly, 45 minutes to an hour for incredible results, and that's even without doing any cardio, which, as I said, you can add into your program later. Combine that with a good diet and you're well on the way to achieving the body of your dreams. I absolutely guarantee it. So that's all for today. Hopefully that gives you a good primer for strength training for those people who are unfamiliar with it, or who do some strength training but maybe don't know what they're doing or don't do it properly or are unsure of the benefits. And I really hope that people see this video who have never strength trained in their life and are now getting to understand the importance of strength training for not just your life now, but for your future life as you get older. A strong 80-year-old is much happier and much more effective, generally speaking, than a weak, frail 80-year-old. And that goes for every age. And there's also lots of evidence as well coming out now, as more people get into strength training, that strength training has a massive effect on reversal of and healing of injuries. There's people who have been told they'll never walk again by their doctors, and they've somehow managed to get themselves into a program of strength training, and they've walked again and become a better athlete than they've ever been in their life. So these things do happen, and strength training honestly can work miracles in people's lives. I've seen it happen. Great resources if you want to learn more, if you want to learn how to do the lifts properly, the squat, deadlift, bench press, etc. StartingStrength.com is the first resource I would recommend. My own website, fitbodystrongmind.com. Stronglifts.com is another great resource, and there are many more out there. There's lots and lots of strength training, fitness and health websites out there now, and a lot of the information on a lot of them is excellent. There's some terrible ones as well, but some of the ones I've mentioned are excellent. And I highly recommend getting the book Starting Strength if you don't have it already, because it will teach you how to do all the exercises properly with perfect form, which is so important. Don't compromise form and technique for anything. Don't compromise technique for a few more kilograms on the bar. The few more kilograms on the bar will come later. Master the technique first, and don't sacrifice form and technique for anything, because if you work with proper technique, you'll avoid injuries and your results will be much better over the long term. So that's all for today. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Join me tomorrow where we'll talk a bit about cardio training. Probably not as in depth as this, because I don't put quite as much importance on it. However, it is important in its own way. So we'll discuss that tomorrow. Thanks for joining me. Bye bye.